So, hi, my name is Emily. I'm a psychology major and a family and human development major, and I'm a senior graduating in May. It's about infant word learning and how they can learn words quickly, but it's also fragile. So it's kind of looking at the question, how do infants learn if their environment is so busy and chaotic, but they still learn anyways, and they still have this great vocabulary spurt at like around 2 and 3. So it's kind of looking at the mechanisms behind word learning when infants are really young. Yeah, I was definitely interested in developmental psychology always. Those were always my favorite classes, and that's just, I've always been interested in how kids grow within the family and in the community. I became really interested in language development after hearing my thesis director give a talk about her own work, and it kind of sparked this interest of like, I've never really thought about how infants actually learn words. It would be so cool to find out more. Well, I was drawn into psychology by an interest in people first, so I was interested in how people thought and behaved, and especially like the family dynamics. So I've always been really interested in developmental and also clinical too. So like when problems come up, how they can be resolved. So my next step is I will actually be working as a case manager at a behavioral health agency in Mesa. So it'll be a little bit of the social work experience where I get to connect with families and kids and bring them and connect them with resources that can help them in their development. I'm very excited about my next steps after graduation. It's like the first real experience that I can apply everything I've learned towards. And it feels like a culmination of a bunch of personal accomplishments. I would pour it all into like integrated healthcare across the world. I know it's already starting a little bit, the movement is, but it's like just starting. So being able to give that money into forming institutions that don't just take care of the body, but the mind and like just everything taken care of in one spot, and also including the family, like putting that into community resources too, so that it's accessible literally everywhere. That's what I would want to do. Because I think it's so important, and I think a lot of people would benefit from it, and problems would be solved if access to healthcare and mental health care was like readily accessible and combined, so that both of the problems are treated as like one issue. It would just solve health issues more effectively. Like the most impactful experience I've had is completing this thesis with my director, because before I did it, I had this idea that, and even when I was like a freshman, I had this idea that psychology wasn't about research and wasn't about the science, but I learned through like all my classes and all the mentorship I had from professors and then my thesis director that it's totally about the science, and that can be creative and exciting and not just like numbers. And so that put a lot of confidence into me, into my own abilities, that I could be a critical thinker while also being creative. It would be to get involved with everything that you're passionate in, because that's the only way you're going to figure out like what path you want to take. So whether that's research, get involved in a research lab. If you have a particular thing you're curious about, ask a professor like who's studying that in your department. Join a club if you don't want to do research that is passionate about the area that you are, because ASU is huge and it has pretty much everything you want.